every healthy relationship has the same core ingredients: kindness, compassion, patience, mutuality of regard, reciprocity, respect.
Yeah.
Every single one. And as long as you got that
flexibility,
no narcissistic relationship has even one of those ingredients. So that's why they don't work. They don't work. So yeah, they're always going to be hard work because you have not one of the essential ingredients. Like you're trying to bake a cake without flour, eggs, or sugar. Good luck with that.
How do you know when you're entering a new relationship if the person is not a narcissist? Mm-hmm. Like maybe you've been in a narcissistic relationship or your parent was or whatever it is, and you have some PTS from those experiences. And you feel like, well, I'm supposed to be walking on eggshells, but I don't need to. It's kind of healthy. Yeah. Like, is the shoe going to drop? Like, when you know the person isn't a narcissist, how long does that take to find out?
About the same amount of time it takes to discover that they are, in the sense that the difference is narcissists actually, there's red flags, right?
Okay.
I call these green flags. Green flags mean go. And green flags are things like watch how the person behaves under conditions of stress. So let's say that you're running late to the airport. Great, that's a great example of a stress, right? How are they acting? And are they, they're saying, oh, I'm a little worried about this, but we're gonna make it work. And listen, what's the worst that's gonna happen? We'll get rebooked. And they're calm and like, listen, I'm just glad to be here with you. Like, we'll figure it out.
They make the most of the moment.
We'll go to an airport hotel if we have to, but we're gonna be fine. A narcissist, when they're running late to the airport, no.
What happens?
So, and it's just, I'm not going to curse,
right? Exhausting.
But it's chaos, stress, accusations. This is your fault. Entitlement. Gosh. Let me speak to the manager. Get me on that plane. Get that plane back to the gate.
Oh my
gosh. That's the narcissist, right? Whereas with the with somebody, you watch them, and it doesn't have to be something as dramatic as the airport. It could be even something like, "Hey, I noticed you've been working late. How about I make some dinner?" So it's the noticing, it's the presence, it's the mindfulness, it's the willingness to be flexible and make compromise when it's needed, to meet you halfway, to listen to you, and more than anything is to also see the growth potential in you. So not to be threatened by your own success. So if you go up to this person and you're like, hey, you know what, I got this totally cool new opportunity, and the healthy person says, that is amazing, you have worked your whole life, I saw this in you, what can we do to make this work for you? Whereas everybody else, and not just narcissists, but insecure people will say, oh, I guess that's just going to mean more time away, and you're going to be traveling a lot, and there's going to be a lot of women on the road, and you're like, oh my gosh, they just got the job of their dreams.
Oh my gosh, and that's bringing back so many memories to me.
That's the key, and I'm a big believer that, there's actually something I'm going a little off topic, but you're an off topic guy, you can handle it. I love it. There's something called the Michelangelo phenomenon. One person in the relationship sees the absolute potential in the other in such a way that they say, what do we need to do to get you to your dream? Like, should we take a second on the house? Should we cut back? Should we move closer in? Like, because I see, or it could be as simple as they eat a cake that their partner made and said, okay, this is the best cake I've ever had. Have you ever thought of making this into a business? Or a partner of yours might have said, you ask the most amazing questions. You need a podcast. Yeah. Like, it's seeing that something bigger in the person.
That's a good thing. That's
the Michelangelo phenomenon. That's everything.
That's a good thing.
It's the best thing. And very few relationships get that, because what you got to do is that person who's saying, go be your best you, is secure enough to say, I'm not going to lose you.
Right.
Like, I see all the good in you.
Yeah.
And
I want the best for you.
And I want the best for you, and I believe in you, and I'm here with you. And that might even mean the person encouraging you might have to make sacrifice. Things like, I know that you're going to have to go take this course for 6 months, and I may not see you, and that's okay, because this is our future together. That's the Michelangelo phenomenon. Ever happens.
What's the opposite?
Narcissistic relationship.
In the previous, I would say, 10 years of my relationships, I think I was just really good at choosing specific people, because I was always like, I always saw the masterpiece. And I said, you're a masterpiece, and I can see what's possible for you with all these skills and gifts. But there was like some insecurities with some of them, not all of them. And they never were able to see it within themselves. They weren't able to see it. And then I remember when I would accomplish something big in some of these relationships, not all of them, it was almost like they would get depressed or sad and say, oh, and then make it about what they're lacking, what they don't have, and wanting to put the attention back on them. I remember I got an email for a year. I was training to become, to make the USA national team. It was a dream of mine, to go to the Olympics and make the USA national team for a sport called team handball, which is a big sport in Europe, not that big in USA. I remember getting an email, and literally almost in tears, that I was selected for the USA team. And it was just like a dream for a couple of years of a journey. This was 10 years ago. And I remember I showed her my girlfriend at the time. I go, I just got called up on the national team. And I'm like getting kind of emotional, just chills now back in that moment. And she didn't congratulate me. She just kind of went back into, God, I wish I was doing what I wanted to do. And I wish there was this. And I was just like, what?
Bingo. Right there.
Just, okay, well, yeah, let me come back and help you. I kind of put my attention back on like, you know, you're going to get these things going, and you know, I'm here for you. But it's like this diminishing. I had this happen at one of my big events one time. I host this annual event called the Summit of Greatness. And a relationship at the time made it all about them at the event. That I wasn't there for them because the attention was on me and people were coming up to me, and I was like, this is something I've been working all year to host. And then I said, you know what, let me pause on my event for 2 hours to give the attention to this person. And I was always trying to see the masterpiece. But it's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're having so many realizations for me.
Right, yeah. I mean, but that's the idea that ego, and it's interesting, not everyone who's not capable of this sort of Michelangelo phenomenon in a relationship is a narcissist by any stretch.
Right.
They may just have more of the low-grade insecurity that so many people are plagued by, right?
Gotcha.
So
just
all
insecure.
insecurity doesn't mean narcissism, right? Insecurity paired with all this entitlement and lack of empathy and all of that is the problem. And so it's so unfortunate because it is there then you, again, we're talking about self-actualization for the individual. I think there can even be actualization in relationships where two people, like, they really see the greatness in each other. It can't just be you the only one seeing the masterpiece. They have to see the masterpiece in you.
What? Because it's just draining.
Yeah.
If it's just one person, right?
It's also a mirror that's not reflecting back at you.
So what I'm hearing you say, the ultimate experiment in a relationship is when both parties are seeing the masterpiece in each other and are supportive of each other. And when one is succeeding, the person I'm with right now, she's incredible. She's just a walking success. Everything she does is just successful. I'm so happy for her.
Right.
I want her to succeed. I'm like, this is amazing. Let's celebrate you.
And she's happy for you.
She's happy for me.
Bingo. It has to be a two-way street.
She admires the work I'm doing. She admires the mission we're on to help people. And she's like, what can I do to support you? It feels interesting. I mean, it feels beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, and that's the key, though, because that ability to sort of to have that co-located growth, that Michelangelo, if you will. You're in essence, you're realizing the statue from the raw piece of marble every day, and you're both sculpting that for the other. But that's, again, no narcissistic relationship is like that. And with a narcissistic relationship, it's really the them show. Like everyone is just sort of in the audience watching them and celebrating them. They can be the only great one in a relationship.
Really?